Right now, I'm speaking to all my Knicks fans out there that follow New York. That's big fans, loyal fans. The ups and downs, and we had a lot of downs since the 1990s. But true fan, we stick in there. So you guys heard it last week. The news that the New York Knicks and Phil Jackson, they're hiring. It hasn't been announced yet, but it will be announced. I think either tomorrow, Monday, or Tuesday. That Jeff Hornacek, uh, the former head coach of the Phoenix Suns, will become the next head coach. I know for sure. So I have the answer to it. I know you guys are shocked, right? Because I was gonna say, what do you guys think about it? Were you shocked? Did it hit you left field? And did you see it coming? Because everybody was thinking Frank Vogel, maybe David Blatt, but it was probably Frank Vogel name was out there, right, to be the next head coach. Everybody wanted him after Larry Bird let him go. They didn't retain him. They didn't give him a new contract, and but I'm telling you that kind of blew my mind. I'm like, Jeff Hornacek, where did that come from? And listen, as a player, Jeff Hornacek was no slouch. He was on the 1990s, I would say legendary 1990s Utah Jazz team, where he played alongside Karl Malone and Hall of Famer John Stockton. And Hornacek was a very good player for them. He was a sharpshooter. He's definitely a legend for the Jazz. He was a sharpshooter. He was a gunner. Very good college player at Iowa State 30 years ago when he took that team to the NCAA tournament. And he got his start under Coach Corbin in 2007 as an assistant, right? Because they both played together in Utah and in Phoenix, right? So he knew what Hornacek was about. He was definitely a stand-up guy. So a lot of people know Hornacek. He was like, he's a good man. He's a stand-up guy, and he's willing to work. But the question, I just think that all Knicks fans, all New York fans, and basketball world was shocked because Hornacek wasn't a big name, right? Because that's in New York. We're always looking for the big splash, right? Who's going to come in, has the big name? We're going to throw big money at them. Look at the Lenny Wilkins of the world. Look at the Larry Browns, right? The Mike D'Antonis. I would say the last coaches that we had were big names besides, Herb Williams and Mike Woodson. There wasn't really big names or anything like that. But we're used to pulling in big names. So to see Hornacek, I mean, he was a big name player with the Utah Jazz, but not as a coach. And I think the question I have, and maybe you guys have as well too, can he coach, right? I think his body of work is not enough with just only 2 seasons under his belt as a Phoenix Suns coach, and fair or unfair, he was fired due to I would say injuries, right? That the Suns had last season. He was definitely stacked up with point guards, which was a good thing because he loves point guards. He loves the fast pace offense of the game. And with Phil Jackson, the triangle offense is so outdated, and I'm just so surprised Phil fell for him. And the media is saying he fell in love with him that night, right? Like he took him out to dinner, they talked, and the sources have been saying that the sources said that Hornacek was his target for some time now, so for weeks. So my wondering is like you had Kurt Rambis, which I'm no fan of. He's a slouch. He's definitely a slouch. But my question was like, okay, you're saying that you only want to bring in a guy that you know, and someone that's gonna come in and run a triangle offense that you love dear to your heart, and you say, you know what, we're gonna bring Kurt Rambis back. We're gonna give him a deal, and let's say they gave him a 3 year, say $15 million deal, which he's not worth any penny of it, right? Meaning Kurt Rambis. And but you just, I guess you shocked everybody. That's why they call you the Zen Master, right? You bring in Hornacek, which Hornacek guys, I read about the story that his brother and mother did not know he was interviewing. With the Knicks, they just only knew he had an interview with a team, and they were like, Jeff, because his brother John Hornacek was like, what team? He was like, I can't say. It may be, and rightfully so, because we're talking about a big market, a big media market town in Madison Square Garden, Jim Dolan, New York Knicks. Come on, man, one of the most profitable team in sports, right? They're worth a few $1 billion, right? Them, the Lakers, the Yankees, and now with the LA Clippers, right? With that $2 billion deal. that just was had off the Sterling, right? Um, so he definitely kept it under wraps, and that was a smart thing to do because you don't want to jinx it. But I would say definitely good for Jeff Hornacek. Congratulations to him. I really do hope, as a true Knicks fan, since the '90s, early '90s, I've been watching the New York Knicks. You know, with my father growing up. The NBA on NBC. You guys can relate. So with the Derek Harpers, the Chris Childs, Charlie Wards, Xavier McDaniels, rest in peace Anthony Mason. So that's I come from that bread, right? Right. I come from that thread of the Knicks team. But I know lately, the last 15 years, they've been kind of pathetic, right? With Carmelo coming on board, they've been at least decent. They're not a playoff contender or anything like that. But I'm just hoping that Phil Jackson knows what the hell he's doing. I mean, I hope so because he hasn't really proved himself to me and to the Knicks fans. I know he brought in Kristaps Porzingis, which I thank God for because nobody's seen it coming, right? Everybody was thinking, Russell, Jaleel Okafor, um, they was not thinking Kristaps Porzingis. They was even thinking Winslow, and Chris Porzingis has definitely been he's been a damn near great player for the New York Knicks, and just in his rookie season, and he was second runner up and a rookie of the year, right? And so I just really hope that, and I'm saying it really with a sentimental heart, like my heart is like emotional right now. Just want to know, like, can this guy coach? Can he develop Porzingis to be the offensive player that he is? And Porzingis is really good on defense as well too. So we just hope to see um, Hornacek coming and work from day one. He gets the buy-in from the players, the fans, the media, and just work his ass off because we can't have another losing season. We can't be a ninth, 10th seed again, or we just don't want to make the playoffs. We don't want to be an eighth or seventh seed. And guys, I know, believe me, I'm realistic to the Knicks and who they are and their talent right now. They don't have great talent. I told you they need to get Rajon Rondo, and I think Rondo's gonna come. I think Rondo's gonna come because he'll definitely get the money he wants from New York, and he has ties to a New York player, which we all know, Carmelo Anthony. They both played high school ball together, right? And Carmelo, he went on record in March, saying that he spoke to Rondo and said that that would be a great place for him to play in New York. And we'll just see what Rondo's going to do. I know he's going to have some offers out there. I don't know about any max dollars or anything at his age. I think he's 30 years old. So, and it's not just his age, 30 years old, but his attitude. And people said he declined, right, since he left um, in Boston after his knee injury. So we'll see what happens with that. But I don't know. I think right now, talking to you guys right now, I'm pretty excited now about the Jeff Hornacek signing because it's a done deal. There's nothing I can do. There's nothing you can do. Phil Jackson, he's running the show. So we just all hope that he comes in. He wants to win. We know he wanted to be a winner. He was a winner as a player. They didn't win a championship because they went against my guy and your guy, MJ, one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest, right? The GOAT. So, guys, comment. Let me know what you think. Do you think Hornacek is going to come in and make his mark? Do you believe he's going to get the buy-in from the players? And do you believe Phil Jackson's going to stay the hell out of his way? That's what I'm scared of. I'm scared of Phil. I'm scared of Phil and his triangle offense. If Hornacek's offensive scheme is not working, he's going to say, "Hey Jeff, can you come to my office? Can we talk?" And Hornacek, he's going to know that he wants to do this triangle offense bullshit. And I'm just really hoping that Phil kind of stays out of his way. And Phil just needs to make deals for the team. Um, Free agency is coming in July. Get a top free agent, get a marquee player, get that big splash, and then for you to go on record, Phil, and say, you know what, we don't need a star point guard. We don't need that. We just need a capable point guard to run the outdated, old triangle offense, right? We just need a good shooting guard. Come on, man. That's why. Listen, Point guards don't even want to come to New York because of that. Chauncey Billups even said it. He said, "Listen, the kind of point guard I am, I don't want to go into that kind of system because there's no freedom." And it's not that the system wasn't a good system. Obviously, he won 11 titles with that system, but it's outdated. You see how the NBA is today. Look at the Stephen Currys out there, the Kyrie Irvings out there, the Rondo. I can go on and on and on. They have enough freedom to do their thing. They're not running that kind of offense. I mean, you had Derek Fisher running the triangle offense. You had Steve Kerr. I mean, listen, those were decent, good players, but come on, man, we're talking about superstars right now, and then they're not even on the level of the guys I'm talking about. So, and they saying that's why Derek, I was gonna say Derek Rose, Derek Fisher, he was fired partially because of that, because of the triangle offense, right? He was running the triangle offense what Phil wanted him to do, but he added some more substance to the triangle offense, and Phil did not like that. He didn't feel like it was what he wanted, right? He didn't feel like it was the right scheme, and he didn't feel it was working. So he felt like Fisher kind of went against his word and started doing something different. So you guys know how it goes, right? Derek Fisher played under Phil Jackson and won 5 titles with this coach, right? And if you could fire him, a player that helped you get 5 rings of your 11, you're telling me if Jeff Hornacek don't get it straight after one season, they're not going to look to cut ties with him? I wouldn't be shocked. Look at David Black, guys. I mean, David Black's a different story. They had LeBron. They went to the finals, but man, this video is long as hell because I'm really desperate for a savior in New York, guys. Tell me what you think. Again, subscribe to my channel. I got another video coming in the next hour, so be on the lookout.